time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right. The doors to the Thunderdome have officially closed, and I take no responsibility for what happens, W. Zeus. Because there's going to be sparks flying, and if you understand how sparks fly, you don't know which way they're going, but you better get out of the way. So what I wanted to do this morning, ladies and gentlemen, is, once again, I'll tell you Trump supporters this, you'll never ever be allowed to be victims around Big Zeus, because what you did to this country on January 6th, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the most unforgivable sins on this planet, right? You allowed your dear leader to trick you. You know, it's like in the Garden of Eden, right? The Garden of Eden, when the serpent supposedly tricked Adam and Eve. Yes, something like that. He tricked you into going to the Capitol. And even to this day, you knuckleheads, you knuckle draggers will still get out here and try to say, why were you led to the Capitol? And then you know what they say? They'll say, the Democrats are Nancy Pelosi. They make up all kind of excuses, except for looking in the mirror and understanding, like, you know what? It's because I'm in a cult and I believe this thing, everything Donald Trump said. And so with that being said, we're dealing with a lot of fallout as a result of these people who received pardons. Their sentences were commuted. And in some cases, he's actually rewarding them by giving them money. You know, this is exactly what we don't need more of in this great country of ours. And that's why, you know, when you hear stories like this, ladies and gentlemen, it just sends you over the edge, because this is going to be why I have to do the first round of booze and shame in the lake of fire. What do we have? We have a former prosecutor who's now exposing and just telling the truth about how he feels about Donald Trump pardoning these violent people. These people attacked law enforcement. Yeah. And this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is evidence of waste, fraud, and abuse. All the money it took to actually trace down these criminals, prosecute them, convict them, and then Donald Trump gets into office, and his first priority, was it to lower groceries? Oh no, he didn't get in the White House and start worrying about lowering our groceries, our gas prices, our egg prices. Oh, and by the way, I hear that they're saying the egg prices are down. I'm hearing that there's a big lie going on. 60 egg prices are down 60% all of a sudden. And I said, wow. So I go to the store because, you know, he told me they were down 94%, 94%. And I did it again this weekend. I said, okay, show me these eggs that are in here for 38 cents. All right. And I go and they said, Zeus, the eggs still aren't 38 cents. And I showed them the articles and I repeated what the current president of the United States said. And they said, you know what, Zeus, those egg prices, they'll never, ever be that. He lied to you. So what I'm going to do is this. For anyone out there that think egg prices are down to 38 cents, I got bad news for you. I can sell you anything, right? Because you don't even know how to think for yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send all these people out here, these Trump supporters who still think eggs are 38 cents. Let's send them where they belong, straight to hell.
I think the message that they sent. Silence, you MAGA demon.
And this is what I do, ladies and gentlemen. I expose these people. But listen, y'all could go to the store and pretend like they're 38 cents all you want. But anybody that's actually paying attention knows that'll never be 38 cents. But let's get back to what happened on January 6th, all right? This is
now a federal prosecutor who oversaw those criminal cases has resigned and is speaking for the first time publicly to our Scott MacFarlane. Scott, good morning. What's he saying?
Hey, Tony, good morning. Greg Rosen was a longtime insider at the Department of Justice, but after stepping down, he has some harsh words for those January 6 pardons. And now he's talking about a tumultuous last 4 months for all those who handled the cases.
So this is January 6th.
President Trump's clemency for all 1,500 plus Capitol riot defendants, including some who assaulted police officers, still rattles the people who prosecuted the cases.
I was shocked, if not stunned, by the breadth of the pardons.
What kind of message do you think they send?
I think the message that they send is that political violence towards a political goal is acceptable in a modern democratic society.
Greg Rosen, former chief of the Department of Justice's Capitol Siege Division, resigned from the agency this weekend, and he's now free to speak about how pardons gutted the people who investigated and sought justice.
The primary beneficiaries of those pardons were not the trespass defendants who have talked about, quote, walking through the Capitol.
Right.
Not the grandma.
Not the grandma, though I didn't see many of those instances. It were the individuals that judges across the spectrum, appointed by both political parties, had determined were a danger to society. Individuals who were serving real, serious jail time.
Right.
After the pardons came a purge. FBI agents were scrutinized, and prosecutors who helped secure a 100% conviction rate among Capitol riot defendants were demoted or dismissed.
What did you make when there were so many people fired by the then acting U.S. attorney? Came in and accused the office of being weaponized and political.
I think it's ridiculous to see those talented prosecutors be marginalized or removed from office is an affront to the independence of the department.
I'll take over from here. What happened on January 6th in the year of our Lord, 2021, will go down in American history as the greatest act of betrayal known to mankind. And for your dear leader to who carried the Marjorie Trader Greene, we all saw what she did on January 6th with those pipes. You know what I can't say. You brought the gallows to the Capitol. Your dear leader instructed you to go to the Capitol. And then he turned around and issued pardons. This is treason at the highest level. No. Never ever say it was an FBI sting operation. Never say that, because I will not allow that. What that was, and you can go look at the evidence. Where's Rudy Giuliani at? Where's Jenna Ellis? Where's Mark Meadows? Where's John Eastman? Where are the henchmen that orchestrated that attack on our democracy like that? Where are they all of a sudden? This is why I take great pleasure in doing this. I'm going to send every single liar that supports Donald Trump. You know who you are, you Trump supporters, that knows what happened on January 6th, and you know the truth. You know Joe Biden beat him in 2020. You still, something's wrong with you. You still think Joe Biden didn't beat him. And I'm going to get into this latest attack against Joe Biden, MAGA, because at the end of the day, I will not let Trump supporters continue to attack Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Their record, as far as I'm concerned, is up there. It's like Jordan's jersey. It's retired. W Zeus. To all the Trump supporters that still support people who attacked our Capitol on January 6th, who continue to cheer Donald Trump as he releases these violent thugs, criminals, people who are S8 children. You could go look up these people, and he's just allowing them to terrorize our country. But then at the same time, y'all want to sit here and act like y'all are so concerned about terrorism occurring in this country. Do me a huge favor. Let me warm this lake of fire up for you, and I want it to get extra hot. May God not have mercy on your souls, because guess what? Somebody, and I do mean this in all sincerity, somebody truly has to do it. Go to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
I see people in the audience are getting triggered, like I said at the top of my show.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
W Zeus. Yeah. And by the way, to the beautiful audience out there, please continue to remind the Trump supporters that are hiding. Just keep showing them those taco images like you're doing with those emojis, because everyone needs to understand. Taco does mean Trump always chickens out. China is eating his lunch. They are making him look like the dumbest, most incompetent person I've ever seen. The way he has no real authority at the end of the day. He can't even control his bladder. How can he control China? W, Zeus, I just thought of that. He can't even control his bladder. This is why you Trump supporters are going straight to hell if you don't get out of the cult. Now, the next thing that I want to bring to everyone's attention is, look at this. An update 2 months after devastating tornadoes tore through Mississippi, local Trump supporters, they're out here saying that they feel abandoned by their dear leader. So let's get this on the record, all right?
Is growing in Tylertown, Mississippi. Is growing in Tylertown, Mississippi, where residents say they're still waiting for federal assistance some 2 months after a tornado tore through their town.
I know President Trump said that America first, we're going to help our American folks first, but we haven't seen the federal folks down here.
There you go. And so what I'll do is this, because I heard this morning Trump supporters, they're saying, oh, he signed the paperwork in the shadows of the night. He signed paperwork now and the money's now being sent. But here's the thing. Even if the money gets there, here's the deal. It doesn't even matter. The damage has now been done, right? 2 months, 3 months later. And now you're coming to your own conscience. You're coming to the conclusion that Donald Trump doesn't really care about you, right? You said America first. Again, anybody that still believes the things Trump says, I gotta send you straight to hell. The only thing Trump cares about is himself and his family. And you have to ask yourself, what was he doing for 2 months? What was your dear leader doing? This is the Trump supporter. What was your dear leader doing the past 2 months, MAGA? Oh, I know. Accepting bribes, right? Pardoning people. Not thinking about you. He was enriching himself. Yeah. While at the same time trying to cram a bill down our throats that we all know. He calls it the big, beautiful bill. And the bill basically is going to rob you blind, even more blind than you've been robbed already by him. And y'all still want to sit up here, W Vice, W all of you. This is what we're talking about. Y'all still want to get on TikTok and try to bash the Democrats and try to say that our ratings are low and this is why blah, 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 blah. And you want to bring up President Biden. At the end of the day, we can see right through this. What's going on, MAGA? And this is why I do shows like this. And this is why I also like to bring up my mutuals, all right? I don't know what other platform where they let you come bring the mutuals up too and let the mutuals take care of business like I do. But that's what we do. I've said this. There is a great judgment upon this country. Yes, I'm talking to the MAGA so-called Christians. You know what I mean when I say judgment. There's a great judgment upon this nation because you've allowed yourselves to be vassals of transgression for Donald J. Trump. And you know the good book talks about having false idols. All right, stay away from those false prophets, the one that say things, because you got itching ears. And then it also says, hey, he or she who has ears to hear, let them hear. And what's crystal clear, MAGA, is y'all don't hear, y'all don't see, y'all are blind. And there's a ditch coming your way. There's a cliff coming your way, and you can't even see it because you're so caught up in his dirty, disgusting diaper. And so what I'll do is this. Once again, I've got to remind you, Trump supporters. See this hammer right here that I carry around that you all get so upset about? How does he send us to the lake of fire? Oh, we got to do something. Please stop it, Zeus. You're tormenting us. And I'm going to tell you, no matter where you go, all right, no matter where you go, you will be judged. All right. And it starts right here with me. All right. So what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is let's warm up this lake of fire. All right. For all you Trump supporters in the United States of America caught up in these disaster zones. You know what they call those disaster zones? They call them acts of God. Yeah, it's an act of God when a tornado comes through your neighborhood and throws your house 2,000 feet into the sky. I don't know if it's 2,000. It's an act of God when a hurricane comes and erases your existence off the face of the earth. And this is what's coming your way as a result of your transgressions and your sins. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send them once again straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA Dayton.
And And it just gets worse with MAGA. And I know I should probably let up because I'm bringing so much truth to their MAGA minds. And I know the demons inside of them are squirming. It's hot in here, Zeus. Please don't do it. No, I'm going to continue to send you straight to hell, W. Zeus. I'm not going to let up. Not at all. And the way you know what they do? They get mad at me. And this is why I'll never, ever have an issue with it. If I bring a Trump supporter up here, right, a demon, I call them demons, and then I decide to do a number on them and I get done with them, and then I bring 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guests up, they'll go, oh, Zeus, you're dogpiling, you can't defend yourself. That's a big lie on TikTok, and we're going to totally debunk that. The reason that I allow the dogpile is because when I think about what Donald Trump did to President Zelensky, wasn't what he did a dogpile? Let me ask the audience. Didn't he dogpile Zelensky? Did he dogpile Zelensky, ladies and gentlemen? I want to ask the audience. He had all of his cabinet in there to deal with little old Zelensky. And they took a cheap shot at him. Oh, you're not even wearing a suit. Whoa. Wow. I didn't know you cared about my threads so much. Why didn't you send me the money then for it? If you cared about my threads like that, and then you didn't even say thank you. And those words are tattooed in my brain. I said, that right there, And this is why I say I will never let Trump supporters be a victim around me, because everything they claim to have a problem with, we can literally call out multiple instances in which they sat by and watched Donald Trump do the exact same thing. W. Zeus. I know I'm cooking and I'm booking this morning, but this country of ours, we got to save it, ladies and gentlemen. Everything you have a problem with, didn't they also dogpile on the South African president when they brought up those photos of the Congo and played that video in front of the world, just totally humiliating them? So MAGA, stop it. I can dogpile as much as I want to because I didn't create the rules. You did. I just play by them, and I do a better job at doing it, right, W. Zeus? You Trump supporters are on your way to hell, and you know it, and there's nothing you can do to stop it, all right? Because God's judgment, in my opinion, is truly upon you, all right? And so I want to also now get into some more lies and some more misinformation going on out here in the MAGA world, because they fall for this, but they won't do anything about that big, beautiful bill that Trump is supposedly shoving down their throats that's going to rob them blind. Instead of focusing on that, you know what they're focusing on? They're focusing on this nonsense about President Biden.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration has reportedly initiated an investigation into the competency of former President Joe Biden in issuing a string of pardons during his final days of his presidency.
Peter Doocy is live at the White House with details. Peter?
Good morning. And on the morning of Inauguration Day, the Biden family pardons were a surprise to us, but were they also a surprise to Joe Biden? That's what officials here want to know. The new scrutiny is on Biden-era pardons, so that would include preemptive pardons for his sister Valerie, his brother Frank, his brother James, and his wife Sarah, and then also for Trump critics like Mark Milley, Anthony Fauci, and Liz Cheney. This is coming today from a Reuters report where it says, Ed Martin, the Justice Department's pardon attorney, wrote in an email seen by Reuters that the investigation involves whether Biden was competent and whether others were taking advantage of him through use of AutoPen or other means. Just minutes after President Trump got back to the Oval Office, I asked him if this came up during the ride with Biden to the Capitol in the Beast.
What are you talking about at the moment?
Unification of our country. You know, I didn't know that he gave a pardon to his family because he did it during my speech.
He didn't tell you to handle it?
No, he didn't tell me. No. He did it. They released it during my speech.
And we're hoping to get details at some point this morning about which Justice Department officials are going to be looking into this, which laws they think might have been broken, and whether or not, if these pardons are found to be illegitimate somehow, the Justice Department wants to prosecute some Bidens.
Oh, so the Justice Department wants to prosecute some Bidens. Is that acceptable, America? Is that acceptable? Because I'll be critical at this point. If Donald Trump really does, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, number one, how are you okay with him wasting taxpayers' money? Are y'all really okay with your dear leader wasting taxpayers' money to go after his political rivals now? I really want to know how y'all do this. How do you go from one end of the spectrum to the other end in record time? How do y'all do that, MAGA? It's okay to go open up a case and try to go after President Biden for some crimes, even though he was in the office, he was in the White House for 4 years. At least you should have impeached him. Did he get impeached? Did Biden get impeached while he was in office? No. Why? Because he didn't commit any crime. But I'll tell you who did get impeached. Donald Trump. He got impeached twice while he was in office the first time. And I'm pretty confident with a record like that, he's going to get impeached at least one more time. I have a high degree of confidence that a person who got impeached twice, only president in U.S. history, got impeached twice in one term. I have a high degree of confidence Donald Trump will be impeached this term. And there's so many ways we can do it. One, we're definitely not going to let go of the Qatar jet. Hey, MAGA, are y'all okay with him releasing these J6ers into the United States and then getting a $400 million jet from a country that, harbors teased? When I say teased, I'm talking about terrorists. Are y'all really okay with this, MAGA? Because Donald Trump has done a number on you. You have no leg to stand on as far as I'm concerned. Look at this knucklehead in my chat, Trump 2028. You don't even know how to think for yourself. Oh, my Lord. So what I'll do is I'll take care of business like I've been taking care of business. How many of you all, Cindy Lou, thank you so much for the subscription. How many of you all would like me to once again send all these Trump supporters in my chat straight to hell? I think it's time, right? And why should we do it? I mean, we got so many reasons to do it, but you know why? I thought about this one just now. I thought about the Latinos for Donald Trump. Every time I see these Latinos for Trump crying, I don't know if these people who are crying voted for Trump, but there's Latinos crying out there right now because of the ICE raids. These people show up with masks. They don't identify themselves. And who do they go after? Do they go after the real T's? No, they go after the women and children. They're tearing apart families while their so-called brothers and sisters are out here cheering the other Latinos for Trump. And remember the song I played, We Will Vote for Donald Trump? Remember that? And the music was blasting, the horns and the maracas and the tambourines, and the hips were shaking. I mean, it was a lightning event. But now they're sitting back crying their eyes out, and they're knowing the reason you're crying is because your own blood did this to you. All right, your own blood did it to you. So let's go ahead and warm up the lake of fire, ladies and gentlemen, for the Latinos for Trump, the blacks for Trump. I'm just going to get you because you don't got those $5,000 Doge checks, and you know what that means in the communities, right? You in the hood, that $5,000. You should have had it, but you didn't get the 5,000. But guess who came up? Your dear leader came up. All right, he sure did get that crypto money, right? W. Zeus. Also, the people who sit here and continue to lie and defend evil when they know that the good Lord never told them to defend evil, but you do it anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, let's warm up the lake of fire because you all asked for it. And let's send these Trump supporters, these liars, these people who get on TikTok and try to say that Zeus is a grifter, but at the same time, they support the biggest grifter known to mankind, right? These are the same people that say, we don't think people should be able to come into the country because coming in the country is illegal and that makes them a criminal, but then they turned around and then they went and voted for a criminal. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send them where they belong, straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
All right, now I got one more thing to cover. All right, and this one it hits home because it affects everybody in the United States. This story affects everybody in the United States, is genuinely. But I'm playing it because I want the so-called Christians out there, the ones that claim they love the children, right? They hate the mothers. Apparently, there's a way you can love the children but hate the mothers at the same doggone time. I want y'all to listen to this story, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll go to judgment, and then I'll go to the box, and I'll hear from anybody that wants to get up here and try to explain it to me. But this is about, let's see. Hold on one second. Okay, here it goes. This is titled, if West Virginia prosecutors will charge women who have miscarriages starting at 9 weeks. And I guess you can get a felony for having a miscarriage. So let's get this on the record and then we'll go to judgment.
Pregnant women who miscarry in West Virginia can be charged with felonies related to disposal of human remains. The prosecuting attorney in Raleigh County tells 59 News, state law gives local prosecutors and local law enforcement a choice of whether or not to bring felony charges against a woman who flushes fetal remains down the toilet or buries the remains in a backyard. He says a woman could be prosecuted starting at 9 weeks of pregnancy, and he says the law would be the same for a voluntary or involuntary abortion. We ask how a patient who miscarries can protect herself legally.
I would say two things. Call your doctor, call law enforcement, or 911, and just say, I miscarried. I want you to know. Isn't there a difference between somebody that's 8 months pregnant and somebody that's 9 weeks pregnant? Those are going to be decisions that are going to have to be parsed out.
Women are not required by law to report miscarriages or abortions to a doctor or to law enforcement. State code also forbids a woman from facing criminal charges for her own abortion. But Truman says he's spoken with several other prosecutors in the state who say they will file criminal charges against women who miscarry and dispose of fetal remains on their own.
Wow. You see what happened? You see what you've all done, MAGA? You turned around and showed us that you can so-called love the children, but hate the people who bring the children onto the earth, into the planet, on the behalf of the good Lord, which shows us all that you're a bunch of evil people. I've watched, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be honest, I don't even think the cartoons that I watch, the cartoons have evil characters, the villains, and the movies you watch, sometimes they have evil villains. I don't even think Freddy Krueger, Jason, I don't even think they would do what these Trump supporters are doing. And these were some bad people. They slice and dice you, all right, just because they had an edge with you. But the evil that these Trump supporters are doing in the name of the good book, it's outstanding. It's astounding. And this is why I say judgment is truly upon this great nation, because we got a lot of people in this country who profess that they love the good Lord. In the Bible, it talks about a lot of people in the end are going to say, God, take me with you. I did this and I did that. And he's going to say, do me a huge favor. Depart from me. Thy works are of iniquity. All right. Because your lips say that you love me. Right? Am I right, Takesha? Your lips say that you love me, but guess what? Your heart is far from me. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do. One more time, let's send all of these so-called Christians where they belong, straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA Damon.
All right, W. Zeus. I've totally cooked and destroyed all of the Trump supporters in my chat. And so let's just go to the box. I'm pretty confident no Trump supporter wants to come up here after what I just did. I just did a huge number on them. All right, let me bring up my first panelist, Q-Dog. Welcome, brother. How are you doing?
What's going on, bro?
Not much, just sitting out here processing the reality that we got a situation in this country. You know what it is.
Oh, yeah. Revelations is in full effect at this point in time. I'll tell you, people that follow this clown, they have their own agenda. They want to utilize what benefits them, whether it's the law, whether it's their own public opinions. Representative John Larson said it best. Democrat for Connecticut. He blasted Congress for listening to everything that Trump and his administration says. And he straight told him, shame on you, because you let this man and his administration run everything when laws are supposed to be submitted and approved by Congress. But y'all let him do anything he wants. Now you have Elon Musk backing off after he done did all his bull crap.
Yep.
This is ridiculous. And y'all want to make it about yourself every single time. Every single time.
Yep.
But they don't want to admit to anything. They want to talk about the border. They want to talk about sending people to other countries, back to other countries, but have yet to say anything about their ancestors that came over here illegally. You know, I was watching Amistad.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that one.
And the audacity for them to at the point of